Y'all, we need to talk. So your boy almost got scammed, y'all. It was kind of a tragedy. Homies tried to straight up take $1,500 from your boy. I mean, I've got to warn people about this. This is a serious issue. People are taking advantage of the desperate people in these desperate times. But we need to start this story at the beginning, my God. So if you don't know, I kind of hate the job that I have right now. It's kind of the worst, kind of stinky doo-doo, and I've been hankering to get something different for a while now, ever since I started this job. So I've been on the search for another job, and I've been trying to find something, anything, that I could just grab and go. And I've been searching for stuff around here, around Pensacola, my local job market, and also looking into remote positions and things like that. Unfortunately, of course, due to current events, jobs aren't exactly the most plentiful thing around. Unemployment is kind of skyrocketing at these days, but I've still been trying my all for the past month or two. And about a week ago, I stumbled upon a job posting that seemed normal enough. I was like, okay, this seems like a job I could go for. It was a position for a data entry clerk at IGA Canada. IGA being the company, the grocery store company. But, you know, the job posting, it looked simple enough. You know, the things they were requiring, I've had experience doing Excel worksheets and stuff. I'm super comfortable in Microsoft Office, so I was like, shoot, why not? Let's give it a go. So I apply, and I get an email that says, oh, your application has been submitted. We will let you know if you're selected to take next steps or whatever. So I was like, cool, dope. So 2 days pass, and I get another email from them basically saying, hey, look, come take this little online remote interview thing, where it was basically they just asked a whole bunch of questions on this website. I typed them in, explained experience and stuff like that. So I had high hopes going into it. And of course, this email and the website, it seemed pretty legit. The email was careers@jobs-iga.com, which seemed pretty legit. Like, I wasn't questioning it. And then the website they had me go to, it also looked legit. It had the IGA logo, a happy little grocery man standing there. Nice little, sleek little form for all the questions they had. It seemed real. And the URL of the website was pretty legit looking too. Like, everything seemed fine. Then another 2 days later, I got an email back from someone who we'll call Miss U. Now, Miss U had a very unique name. And since it was such a unique name, I decided before I even go further with it, I would, search a little bit who this Miss U was using the very unique name she had in her email. And I did happen to find someone on LinkedIn with the exact same name listed as the exact same position as the person who was emailing me claimed to be. So I was like, that checks out, Miss U right here is the one on LinkedIn, and the one that I'm emailing obviously seem like it's the same person. And this email basically was a job offer, which shook me. I was like, they're not even going to have me do an interview? They're just going to say, hey, take this job. So the email laid out kind of like some documents they needed. They wanted a proof of my address, and they wanted proof of identification and stuff like that. And they also had the PDF document of the actual employment offer. So I responded back and said, hey, yo, Shouty, thanks for the employment offer. I appreciate it. I will go over it, and I will get this signed and returned to you along with the other documents post haste. So I'm thinking, it's still a regular thing going on here. They might just have a real, big need for it. The emails made it seem like they were in kind of a rush to get somebody. So I was like, they might just be too busy to go through a whole interview thing. So I go through the employment offer. It seemed also legit. Like, the little company logo was there. They had an address for the company that was the actual Canadian head office for IGA. They had a lot of information about the position being hired for, compensation, benefits, confidentiality, and just like everything you could think of to be in this was in it. So I was like, yeah, this all looks good to go. The only thing I noticed that was a bit weird, but I looked past, was that Miss U's email was human resource at jobs-iga.com. which I thought was a little weird, but I just assumed Canada might just be a little weird. Maybe they only got one single resource for their humans. Us Americans are lucky with our human resources. We have multiple, but Canadians, they might just get one. I don't know. But although that was a little sketch, I looked past it, and everything else seemed legit. So I was like, probably just some little thing. But then I noticed in the employment contract that they were offering the position for dang $30 an hour, which seems a bit ludicrous. Now, I'm not super familiar with the going rate of data entry clerks in Canada, but it doesn't seem like $30 an hour is a reasonable amount. So that raised a little bit of a red flag there. I was like, that's really high. Is this like too good to be true? But I really wanted it to be true, I'll tell you that, because I was and still am kind of desperate to leave the position I'm in now, the job that I'm in now. So I was just generally desperate, and I was like, if it's too good to be true, whatever, but if it's true and actually real, then that's really hype, and I'll be like working from home for a crazy amount. They had a bunch of stuff about confidentiality and privacy in the interview and in the little employment contract, so I was like, that maybe it's just like I'll be handling sensitive information and they want to make sure that I'm compensated fairly. I don't know, but that's how I rationalized it, to be able to say, yeah, I'll keep moving forward with this. So I sent back the signed employment contract along with proof of my address. So another 2 days passed. There seems to be a pattern here, and Miss U sent me a link to their Bitrix company chat and task management thing, and basically told me I needed to get in contact with their IT guy, their IT specialist, Alex Smith. But I said, alright, maybe poor dude's just got an ultra generic name. So I joined in the Bitrix thing, and I was like, this looks legit. Like, they got tasks, a little bit of task laid out for me. I started talking to Alex, and he was like, hey, here's, could you go ahead and put a profile picture up? And I was like, sure, I got you. And then the next thing he had me do was basically a practice task for me to get a quote for the equipment I would need for my home office. So at this point, I'm still like hook, line, and sinker. I'm still thinking this is mostly legit. The only thing being thrown off was that it was like, it seemed too good to be true, and I should have listened to my gut on that. But I was gung-ho. I was like, oh yeah, I got you. I'm gonna email this company, Tech Insight, and I'm gonna get that quote, sir. I got you. And just to be sure, I also looked up Tech Insight, and it seemed like a legit company. I was a little confused by it, but like I said, I was still pretty like thoroughly hooked. I mean, they seem like they do IT stuff from their website, and they said they're their IT partner, so I can buy it. So I emailed this Tech Insight sales team, and a few minutes later, not too long after I emailed, asking for a quote on the equipment that Alex so kindly listed for me, they come back and say, oh, so nice to hear from you. Yes, that will be this amount for all that equipment. So I was like, dope, cool, thanks. I downloaded the PDF invoice they gave me, sent it off to Alex, and he was like, dope, coolio. Alright, so now we can move forward with this equipment purchase. And here's where it started getting sketchy. The boy was like, alright, IGA is gonna reimburse you for all the money you spend on this equipment, but you will have to put down a minimum down payment of a certain amount to Tech Insight in order to start the whole order process. And I was like, alright, I mean, that's a little weird, but I guess I can put down something. You know, it can't be more than 100 or 200 or something like that. It can't be all that much. So I was like, sure. Do you know how much would be expected for a minimum payment? And the boy hit me with $1,500. That's not very minimum of a payment. That's kind of a maximum payment. So it was at this moment that I was like, $1,500 is a lot to be asking a new employee to spend on home office equipment just right out the gate. That seems a little sketch. And IGA, it's not like they're a tiny company that wouldn't be able to afford getting the office equipment ordered themselves and sent to me if we were in fact ordering home office equipment. So at this point, I was honestly like kind of scared. I was afraid that this really great opportunity I thought I had before me was nothing but smoke and mirrors. I was so convinced for so many days that I was just right on the brink of quitting my job. Before I started talking to Alex, I was literally contemplating going ahead and emailing my boss my resignation, because I was like, they're getting me hooked up with their IT guy to set up a home office. Like, things are good to go. Everything's been legit. I signed the employment contract, but I'm super glad I went ahead and started talking to the IT guy before I made any emails to my boss, because I would have been out of a job and bamboozled by this boy. So to try to take one last ditch effort and see if this was a legit opportunity, I asked Alex. I was basically, in my head, I was pleading that he do something to prove to me that there was legit going to be reimbursement from IGA Canada in some way, if he could prove it or like do something to show me that yes, 100% you're being hired. This is a weird situation, but this is just how it is. And of course, he did not do that. He came back with a wishy-washy, oh, you don't gotta worry. It's just, we'll pay you back in 2 to 3 business days. And just for time management purposes, we're gonna go ahead and get you to spend that $1,500. So it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking because at that point I was pretty convinced that, yeah, this is not a real thing. All of these past few days when I've been so happy that I was gonna get the chance to leave my job and have a work from home job that gave me all sorts of freedom and paid me super crazy well, all that just slipped away. So to be 100% sure that this stuff was not legit, I decided to take Mr. Alex's profile picture and reverse image search it. And the man I found was not actually Alex Smith, crazy as that might be, but he was basically some other guy, just completely unrelated to IGA. Finding that picture really, it solidified it that it was a scam indeed, and I was heartbroken. I was genuinely depressed for a few days after this because I was so ready to quit my job. I was so ready to leave and start this new opportunity where I would have more time at home, more freedom. But at least I noticed that things were fishy before any kind of transaction was made. But honestly, as much effort as they put into the whole front half, and then on this last section, this last quarter of the scam, the most important part, they really kind of half-butted it there. Having the Alex Smith profile picture just be some guy that was super easily reverse image searched. And then to top it all off, the response I got from Tech Insight, they hit me back and said, alright, to make the minimum payment on this order, please send this $1,500 minimum payment for this order to the bank account of some random guy named Raimundo Castellanos. And they gave me the account number and the routing number, and they were just like, yeah, we take our business transactions through this guy, Raimundo. He's our boy. So, my God, I hope if anybody else went through this scam, at least by here, they were like, that doesn't seem right. From here, I was just messing around. I was kind of upset, but I just wanted to kind of have a little fun with it, if nothing else. Kind of waste their time a little bit. Get their hopes up high that, oh, we're about to get some money, and then crush them like they did mine. And I also confirmed that I was, in fact, supposed to be sending the money to Raimundo. He was like, oh, yeah, that's just, they do their transactions through their sales agent, and Raimundo just must be one of those guys. So I was like, understood. Raimundo sounds like a name I can trust. So the equipment's going to be sent straight to my place, right? Like, it's coming straight to my address when I get it, right? And he was like, sure, yeah. They'll let you know about delivery and date and time and all that crazy stuff after you make your order. So then I hit him with the coolio, sir. I'm completing the payment now. You said you wanted the image of the receipt, correct? And he shot back with a hearty yes. The boy wanted that receipt. So I slapped back with 10-4 capping. I'm sending out the payment as we speak. I hope Raimundo spends it wisely. Here's the receipt for the payment. And then I go ahead and send him the receipt right there. Now wait a second, y'all. This does not look like a receipt for a payment. That does not look like one at all. My God, I have made a blunderous error here. So of course, after my mistake was made, I said, oh, just silly me. That doesn't seem to be the receipt at all, now does it, Alex Smith? Oh, please do forgive me. I really am such a klutz these days. And that was the last we heard of our legend, our boy, Alex Smith. I hope that getting that picture crushed his dreams as much as it crushed mine. Now, I will fully admit, it is mostly my fault that I fell so hard for this for so long. Because I was desperate, I was gullible. I'm generally a gullible person. I'm too trusting. But it was mostly just the desperation to find a decent job. And I'm sure that's what it's going to be for a lot of people who come across this. So I wanted to make this, to make some content out of this, because dude wasted several days of my time. So I wanted to get something out of this nonsense if I wasn't getting a job out of it. And B, of course, to warn other people that this kind of scam exists, even if it's not specifically for IGA Canada. I'm sure there are other scams they got going on with other fronts that look legit, but slowly reveal themselves not to be. Everybody, please do your due diligence and just, be as safe as you can be. There are so many people who are absolutely willing to feed off of the desperation of everybody these days, because there's so many people who are just trying to get by, who are desperate for opportunities, and these cretins, these leeches of society, these disgusting animals sit here and try to swindle thousands of dollars from the desperate people that just want a job. So everybody, I hope this was at least somewhat enjoyable. The experience of it wasn't, but looking back, I can laugh at myself and say, wow, I'm gullible. Thank you for watching. I hope you have absolutely wonderful days ahead of you, and I will be seeing you in the next one. Everybody, take care.